Okay, so I always find this kind of stuff interesting. Nintendo patents. And if you've been following the news, there's been a lot of talks lately about like a triple screen Nintendo Switch or 3DS looking type of device that people are speculating on. Hey, is this the Switch 2? What is this? And you know what? It always kind of drives me nuts when the news comes out and it's all like, hey, this one website discovered this, but then nobody knows where the information came from. Nobody links to any particular patent or filing or anything like that. So nobody has any of the actual details of what the filing is. Well, today I have the filings and I'm going to share them with you guys. I'm going to allow you to download them. They were initial filings that were in Japanese. I have them translated to English and I'm going to provide them to you, but we're going to go over some of that stuff real quick and take a look at what's going on out there. But before all that, as you can see, this is a new filing, a new patent application as well. And this is just for the Nintendo Switch. This is just some basic stuff because they update filings all the time. They're continuations of applications, things like that. But what we're going to talk about isn't continuation. It's like a new filing. But I just wanted to point that out. Like this was recently published, and this is just Nintendo Switch, just an update type of thing, right? But then, you know, when stuff like this, what we're about to talk about, this 3-screen thing comes out, it turns into a resource for people, not just to speculate. Speculation is fun, man. Don't get it twisted. But sometimes these weird patent applications, Nintendo has tons of them. They're always filing them. You can always find something that you could speculate on. But way back before the Switch came out, there was these filings with this weird little oval thing. And people were coming up with fake mock-ups. Hey, we got the new Nintendo console, and they were making renders. And it was just based off of this. Did this ever come to fruition? No. Some weird little oval thing never happened. Never happened. Nintendo recently also filed, or they got a publication out for this other invention where it sets up like a defined location in a virtual space. And it says material object is moved within the virtual space. Then by using at least the material object, which is at least partially included in said region, a product corresponding to plurality of material objects is caused to appear. Like there's lots of weird things that they are always putting in patents. This is a very old patent. I think it's been updated numerous times. You see a Wii controller with like a GameCube add-on. There's always these weird things. Early DS, publications where there's different mock-ups and stuff like that. But this is what we're talking about. This little thing right here that people just want to show 2 images and that's it. Well, we have all the images from the application, and we have the application actually translated to English. So let's take a look at this thing. So this is it was like an initial filing, I believe. I'm not like a lawyer on patents and filings and stuff like that, but from what I am gathering, this is like an initial like international filing. So that's why there's very little information that's easily found out there. You just have to know where to look. And by chance, I started digging and found some more information that doesn't seem anybody's sharing out there. So that's why I wanted to take a look at this. But here's all the different figures. And you've probably seen this one. Maybe this one, I'm not sure. I think there's only been 1 or 2, maybe 2 or 3. There's been at least 2 images that have been shared. But we have a lot of images, different figures, different bullet points, pointing to everything on here. But the whole point is like whenever something like this comes out, you have to take it with a grain of salt because as I've already demonstrated, and even before, like 5 years ago, Nintendo, there was a patent. We talked about it on the channel of a new Game Boy, and it looked like it was just something to put a cell phone into. That never came out. They file tons of stuff to either continue protecting the things that they make or to protect possible future things like, hey, we already patented this, you copied us type of thing. That's something that they never even make, right? Here's a little hinge mechanism, or, it's supposed to disconnect, like it's two halves, and it's supposed to split into 2 different like setups. It looks like it can be, I think in some of these diagrams, it does show like, hey, each one has like multiple sets of buttons. Like here, you'll see one half, there's like an L and R, kind of weird, right? These little slants. You have those, and then boom, there you go. And here's the mechanism for the trigger buttons. As you can see, little spring for tension, and there's the actual micro switch. Then there's another angle, and then here's the 2 halves put together. As you see, like there's multiple sets of buttons. So it's almost like a concept of, hey, this could be a multiplayer system instead of like the Nintendo Switch where it was like, okay, you could take the Joy-Cons out and each person can, with baby hands, use one Joy-Con as a controller, and another person could use a controller. This concept is like, no, just split the system in half and you got two people playing, type of thing. That's kind of a neat thing. Like, it looks like a DS, looks like a 3DS, but there's not a lot going on here. They're not showing like a bunch of buttons other than the way the shoulder buttons work, that kind of thing. But we could look at the actual filing here and try to compare certain things that are on there. But it's a huge document. Initially, it was in Japanese. I do have it in English here. I am going to have this uploaded to a new article on my website, madlittlepixel.com. I've been wanting to upload more and more to that website, but that'll be the easiest way for me to get these documents to people who want to dissect and read through everything, take those pictures and put them side by side and read like what each figure means, all that kind of thing. Like, because they have like the description of drawings here. Let me see if I could pull this up to where it's like, we have them all together. So let's get back to page 1. All right, just get out of there. So let's pull that up. So let me scroll back down. So figure 1, as you can see, like you could just pull up the images and then read it. It's kind of hard when you're going through just text and you don't have the image right next to the text. But you could go through and look at this. Like figure 1 is a schematic perspective view showing the configuration of an electronic device according to the first embodiment. So that's what figure 1 is. And then figure 2, if some of these word things don't matter. Oh wait, figure 2 was part of there. That's figure 2 at the bottom. Figure 2 is a schematic surface diagram showing the configuration of the first device. Is in a large schematic diagram of a region, blah blah blah, whatever, right? And then or figure 3. Figure 3 and 4. 4 is a schematic surface diagram showing the configuration of the second device. And then let's get to figure 5. 5 is a partially enlarged view of the second back surface of the second device. And then 6 is a schematic surface diagram showing the configuration of the electronic device in the first connected state. What does all that mean? Sounds like a lot of scientific talk to me. Diagrams and whatever, but you can match them up and try to figure out what they're talking about. 7 is a schematic cross-sectional view taken along lines of 7 and figure 6. Okay, so yeah, you could go through this stuff. Figure 9, what is 9? A schematic cross-sectional view taken along those lines. Okay, so yeah, a lot of stuff that maybe won't make sense to everyone. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm just like, this seems like maybe with some of these talks that are out there of new like Nintendo DS emulation devices coming out and dual screen devices, maybe Nintendo's just trying to continue to protect that kind of stuff. But there is a lot of information. There's multiple filings, by the way. This one was 3801, I believe. Yeah, 3801. I'm going to have that all uploaded and the diagrams to my website. I'll put a link down below. This one's 3802. Then there's 3804. I'm going to have these all up, but some of them are very similar. They seem like they are part of one another type of thing, as they did file a bunch of stuff recently. As you see, here's some more diagram views of the same device we just looked at, but this is a separate filing. And then I think this one, 3804, let's take a look at the drawings. This one, I'm not really sure. Like, this almost looks like a Game & Watch type of thing, but it also kind of looks like a Switch, but just not with much going on. But they just they file things all the time. Like, yeah, it looks like a Switch Lite almost, So recent filings, all the information, if you want to dissect it, will be on my website, madlittlepixel.com. Newest article, I'll have everything. You could download it. Everybody else wants to be greedy and not share this kind of stuff, but we're here sharing, man. So people can really read through this stuff. But realize, Nintendo does this all the time. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean that that's what the Switch 2 is going to be, a clamshell design that opens up, separates, and has 3 screens. Doesn't mean anything. Most likely, it'll never come to fruition. But hey, we got to wait till Nintendo actually announces things. But it's fun to speculate. Don't get it twisted. But always, grain of salt. A little dash of pepper, too, just in case. Appreciate Appreciate you guys. Bye.